only 4 poli-sci credits, then I would recommend it. If that
Yeah.
doesn't like fit with your schedule, it probably doesn't make sense, but it
Yeah.
is a new perspective is what everyone I've ever, everyone says that, and I agree with that.
But yeah, I think like it's a good way to get all of your like poli sci requirements out of the way and like get electives as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Cameron, how are you doing tonight? You here? Oh, no.
We're also unmuted now and live.
Hi, Leo.
Yeah, what's up? How's it going,
Love
DeSilva?
you.
Love you too. Cool.
Is this anyone's jacket before I throw it on the floor?
Okay, we'll begin with roll call in 1 moment. If you could all settle in, quiet down, please. Appreciate it.
Everyone, we also have a cake up here. It's Mo's birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear mom. Happy birthday to you.
And there's plates and there's forks up here. Feel free to help yourselves. Anyway, I guess.
22.
22.
Damn. Oh, I'm 19.
Dang, bro. All right.
19.
All right, settle down.
We're gonna get into roll call, so if everyone can please quiet down.
Okay, Naya,
Well, happy birthday.
Here.
Musab,
Here.
Aiden, Mo,
Here.
I'm here. Taya, here. Mariam. Priscilla,
Here.
Chinmay,
Here.
Tanvi, here. Audrey. Aisha. Eddie.
Here.
Ashika,
Here.
Kushi,
Here.
Shaughnessy,
Here.
Ben, Ale,
Here.
Pierce,
Here.
Bobia, here. Ryan,
Here.
Yadu,
Here.
Cameron, hi Cameron, Rulu,
Here.
Stanley,
Here.
Mira, here. Samia, it's not. Charmaine,
Here.
Solon. DK.
Here.
Sophie. Ryan. Odette. Tanisha. Rafa. Megan.
Here.
Gustav. Awesome.
Here.
Minna. Here. Kennedy. Here. Andrew Luke. Jeffrey. Anjali's coming late. Leo.
Oh, I hear.
Alexa. Here. Juan. Gracie. Anna. Nadiha. AJ. Here. Nina. David.
Here.
Catherine. Zainab. Morlake. Emily. Melinda.
Here.
Sahasra. Here. Lynn. Anaya.
Here.
Alex,
Here.
Simon, Jocelyn.
Here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jocelyn Vargas. Sophia. Here. Pablo Cherkis. Simi. Here. Ruhan.
He's on his way from band, like he's running.
Okay. Sebastian.
Here.
Cons.
Here.
Nuh. Here. Khalil. Ritvik. Jocelyn.
Here.
Arian. Here. And the other Jocelyn's here as well. Madeline. Addie. Jack. Ralph. Nicole. Here. Aditya.
Here.
And then Pablo Tang. Okay. Any members of the public?
Catherine, 30 PhDs.
Hi. And
Yeah. Okay, before we enter open forum, I'm gonna ask that everyone please put the devices away unless you're a member of the public. Away, be fantastic. Okay, we will get started with open forum, 10 minutes with preference given to members of the public. Any topics for open forum? Drew?
Yeah, did someone last week ask about the Perelman Medical School like guaranteed program pass? Pablo, right?
Yeah.
What was like the specific comment about it?
We were gathering pin forward topics for President Jameson's meeting tomorrow.
Okay, I mean, I just found like I'm friends with a lot of past students. I just found out as well. Like I feel like there's nothing, my understanding of it, it can't come back because it's like federal DEI policies. So I guess like what from a UA perspective, like is there anything that like Penn can do to bring something like that back? Or is that just because it's like federal, like there's nothing that we can do about it?
Wait, Drew, is it like not a thing anymore? Because the website has updated deadlines for this upcoming summer.
I've been told it's like gone, like it's like right now it's gone because like it has to do with like it's basically minorities in like helping minorities like get into like ensuring there's like representation in like you have to be a minority to apply to that program. And I think like from people that I've talked with like in past, like it's just not a thing this year anymore.
To answer your earlier question about something that the UA can do about this, if this is something that's of interest, this would be a topic that could actually be discovered and pushed out and put forward. So if that's what you guys are interested in, then I can just heavily vouch for it and pin forward.
Also, Drew, I'm meeting with career services this week, and it's on my list to talk to them about it. So I'll keep you posted.
Okay, sounds good. I mean, I don't qualify. I'm very overrepresented, but yeah, no, it's just interesting.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Any other topics for open forum?
Okay, the last open forum.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those elected members in favor of elapsing open forum? Any opposed? If nothing really passes, we'll enter the board section.
Okay, hello everyone. Hope you all had a wonderful homecoming weekend. Why do it always look like this on here? Sorry. Okay, anyways. So President's report, Cabinet met with the AVP of Equity in the Title IX office. There's not anything too crazy that I want to highlight from this meeting. Everything that we kind of talked about is here. The only thing, there's one thing that I would like to highlight, and it's the policy updates and the 2020 Title IX regulations, the reversion that Aiden had talked about. they basically just clarified that all of Penn's protections remained intact. Regarding any of their LGBTQ plus or trans students, specifically that their office wasn't affected. So other offices, such as obviously athletics was obviously affected, but their office in terms of the things that they do, all their protections remain intact. There's nothing else really. This wasn't a super substantive meeting here, but is there anything that you guys like me to elaborate on that's on the screen right now? Okay, cool. And then I had Penn Forward undergraduate working group that's confidential, but obviously since we were talking about the Perlman like acceptance program, I can bring that up in Penn Forward as an idea. I had my trustee meeting, all of us had trustee meetings last Thursday. I sit on the trustee meeting for student life committee. Career Services came and presented and just talked about how they prepare Penn students for internships, jobs, and long-term career development. My one-on-one with Gary Parr, we also talked about Penn Forward and then talked about a couple updates on current UA projects. I know a lot of you are meeting or have met with him this past week about UA projects, so I hope those meetings went well. This week, Cabinet is meeting with President Jameson tomorrow, and we'll be presenting or asking about all those things we talked about, I think 2 weeks ago, finally having that meeting. My weekly with Katie Bonner, and then we have 4 meetings this week and the next week that I need to send out agenda topics for because they're just more pertinent. I sent a message in Slack asking you guys to be prepared for some of these things and gave a couple of examples for things you could briefly talk about. So we'll start with OGCA. This is the Office of Government and Community Affairs. I'll open this. But some things you could ask about are like anything like voter turnout and registration on campus, civic engagement, et cetera, and like all things governmental affairs. Lobbying, is that what you said? Lobbying, that's another thing.
And before we continue, I could ask for the devices to please go away.
OGCA.
So I guess efforts in collaborating with Pennsylvania's 2 senators, Dave McCormick and John Fetterman, in terms of advocating to Penn at the federal level. I know that Dave McCormick visited the Penn hospital system recently with members of his staff. I want to say around 2 weeks ago. So I guess like follow-ups and updates from that meeting.
Okay. Julia.
Like the AI agreement between Shapiro and Penn, any more on that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, can we ask at the local and state level if they're involved at all like lobbying for SEPTA or what the relationship looks like there?
Can I kind of answer that question, Loki? Or
If you have an answer, go ahead.
a little bit, yeah. So like Penn will like advocate for like issues that impacted students, one of which being SEPTA, especially for its graduate students who oftentimes commute. So yeah, they're somewhat active in terms of negotiations and advocacy for the state budget when it comes to SEPTA.
What's up?
It's like when Shapiro was involved in like oversight on the encampments, was his office like involved, litigated afterwards, following, etc.
Any questions? Anyone else? Carol.
How much money we spend lobbying per year, per quarter?
Per year, quarter, per something, okay. Okay. Julius.
What offices they work with? Like what department? Yes.
So
I guess engagement at the first Thursday meetings that they have like every month, just kind of seeing like what numbers that they can give us in terms of like, are people from West Philadelphia actually coming to these meetings, taking part of them, or like, you know, etc.
that's the other thing that you guys can kind of think about is like how their office interacts with Philadelphia community and what they do to support them. So if there's any general questions about that, you can also bring them up. Anything else ready to say? Okay, if you have anything else, please let me know. The next one is Penn First Plus. So obviously these are like all things regarding like FIGLY students, cost of course materials, communication gaps, support, academic equity practices. So is there anything, if there's any specific questions or areas of concerns that you guys can think about, this is where you could bring them up here. Pierce.
For cost of course materials, some course materials, I mean, not courses, some courses have fees, like Despair has a fee. And it's not covered by Penn First Plus for highly aided students.
Okay. AJ.
The chance of them or the idea of tax codes coming back. We used to have them prior to, I think it was COVID, and I don't anymore.
Yeah. I like that.
We could bring up like the possibility about like having a free storage option on campus. That's like one of my members' initiatives.
Have you guys had any meetings with them yet at all?
Don't believe so. I'll double check though, get back to you.
I'll make that question broad. then.
I can kind of answer this. I talked to them like last semester about it at the end, and they just said that they just don't have funding capacity or space for it. But the idea is of interest to them, but they just don't have the capacity.
Yeah, that's like such a big project. That's one of those things where bringing our actual project proposal will be better instead of just asking them a question because these are turned down. AJ?
Maybe a little bit more transparency between the emergency and opportunity funding, like when I know that when you get rejected, it's like just like it's so broad, like they don't tell you the scope of why. So maybe if they can release more information on why it's like that.
Okay. Wait,
Well,
go ahead, what?
like follow up to this, like ask, give us like more data on the funding, like how many requests, how they determine like what gets funded. Is it like kind of rolling or like there's funding limit capacities?
Okay.
Also, I'm assuming that this is like with the program, like the summer program that they offer, like for, it's like through them, right? P1P, like
Yeah.
there's like I wanted to ask like if there's any way to know what the selection process was, because I know like some people that are like vaguely in would have like benefited from this weren't invited to the program.
They weren't invited?
No.
Okay. Okay. Your criteria for that? Okay.
I guess, how are they communicating with schools and academic departments to decrease the fees that students are expected to pay? Because if I recall correctly, that was kind of their argument against the free textbook codes. And so what success have they had in trying to change the system and standard of, okay, you just have to buy this textbook for this course?
Okay. Anything else? Yes, AJ?
I know they just got a new director. What is that director gonna be focusing on? What's their?
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, yeah, everything else, let me know. Next is admissions. Our last admissions meeting was heated. Thanks to Mr. Carroll, but this meeting is really interesting. These are like literally any questions you could think about around like any admissions changes that we had, any policy changes that the university has had. Maybe like the standardized testing requirements, things like that. Those are where the realm there should fall. Pierce.
The student art gallery in Cohen Hall, like why they got rid of it. Andrew wanted us to ask about that.
Okay.
I'll send you more details.
Standardized testing and how can you use the same equity argument for it and against it?
Leo has a question.
I got you. You want to?
Leo has a question.
Oh, yes, Leo?
Oh, thank you, Silva. Thank you, Niall. Guess I'm not really sure how you'd phrase this question in a polite way, but I'd be curious if one of their objectives is to decrease the admissions rate.
You're asking, is that one of their objectives?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of something I suspect, but I'm not really sure if they would confirm that or if that's really the case.
Okay.
To that, like, what do they do to secure their spot in the rankings? Like,
Oh yeah, it's a good question.
when that comes out, or their student to faculty ratio, everything that goes into that, you know?
What was the original, what was the original question? I missed the first part. What'd you
Like,
say?
what does Penn do to like adjust or like what does Penn do that goes into their ranking, you know?
I think like globally, I think we dropped like a bunch of spots.
Oh, no.
Like in terms of like our like prestige, like our
No,
school
like on
being
US
cool?
News, like there's a lot of data
Oh.
that factors into it.
Okay.
And I know like Penn, I don't know, Penn doesn't, but like Chicago
If we can listen up this.
Chicago will send an email to every student in the country telling them to apply or things like that, like.
Okay, so like what are
They, different schools do things to increase their ranking or lower their acceptance.
Okay. DeSilva?
I read this somewhere on the DP, so trying to make sure I'm not doing it disjustice. But I believe they got rid of like their like alumni interview system, like alumni conversations recently. And I guess like how does Penn Admissions really hope to make up for that now very big gap in terms of like qualitative data on like these students and like what they would contribute to the undergraduate community. So I guess what are they kind of counterbalancing this lack of interviews with?
Okay.
Wait, they got rid of the cause weren't they already not being used for evaluation?
They were before that, I thought.
But I don't think they really were.
Right, those like
They
stop.
were used last year for
Oh,
evaluation.
can you clarify like how it helped and like what was the reason?
For them existing? Or for them
like
getting
the
it?
interest of bringing it back.
Okay. Alexa,
How they're approaching the use of AI when it comes to essay writing and kind of like what they're gonna be thinking in terms of next steps with that.
Good idea.
Digital SAT, have they seen like what are they gonna do with requiring it? Are there issues with schools, high schools, things like that?
Because
Oh shit.
it's relevant.
Pablo.
Kind of like on the possibilities of making all international admissions blind.
I did not hear you.
Oh, making all the international admissions need blind, like the possibility of that.
Like possibility of it.
Do that, sorry.
That also would
It's been
Yes.
it was like Donnie Brown and
It might be a question more for SRFS. There's a lot of like over talking right now in this general area. Can we cut that down for a second? That may be a question for SRFS. I think we have a meeting with them coming up on the 20th, 21st, so I can redirect it there, but I can ask something in that realm. Ruhan.
I know that you can request your file, like your actual admissions file and like do the FERPA like waive, I don't like really know what it's called, but I did it and what they basically give you is like a copy of your entire Common App and then like 4 numbers that describe like your standing on like these 4 different categories. But I also talked to people that have said that in years past, they also used to give you the full file with like all of your essays, all of the comments your AO made. And I'm wondering why they got rid of that or why they changed that process for what they actually give back to students.
Okay. Come on.
When the threat to international students enroll or like be able to come to the US for school, will Penn start to accept less international students, or like will that affect the international students admissions if the Trump administration is trying to restrict how many students are coming?
Or also accept students from certain countries to keep the numbers.
Okay. So more hands. Kennedy?
Are they, or how do they work to expand relationships, just familiarity with a broader amount of high schools? You know, like there's some high schools that like just like, I guess like feeder schools to Penn and others, and some that just like don't have that exposure.
Good question. Jocelyn?
How does admissions work to determine who to send emails to, like telling students to apply?
Okay. No.
Can they, probably won't answer, but like, how do they look at international students who don't like come from international schools or don't take like APs or IP, just like non-standardized curriculums, and how do they evaluate them with other applicants?
Okay, maybe like 3 more questions. Okay, ZK.
So just to build on to Mo's question, how have they done it in the past? And also because
What data in the past?
how have they been assessing international students
Oh.
without, since they're bringing the SATs back, for example, how have they done it in the past and why did they choose to bring the SATs back, how that will change, and how the, and I quote, updated policy will allow students facing hardship to submit a testing waiver, how would that work? For the ACT requirement.
Okay. Ruhan?
Kind of adding on to high school relationships, like I don't entirely know if Penn does this, but do you know if Penn like, do they go to college fairs like at some high schools or in some towns? Like I guess, do they have any, are they looking at any more efforts to expand that to more areas around Penn and maybe in the US in general? Like for example, like I live in South Jersey, my area never had anything Penn related, like we never had people come from the school like a college fair, there was never anything in the area where students could ask questions, so just something about that.
Okay, I'll just tie that into their question about Kenny's question about local Philadelphia high schools and ask if they reach like rural communities or smaller towns. Good. Okay, anything else for admissions? Yes.
I'm just kind of wondering, like, are they making any efforts to still have diversity with the action being on?
I'll ask how they ensure they still have a diverse body.
If they note on an application if someone's a donor or Student, donor, and legacy. And how they, why they weigh that if they can't weigh racial factors.
Good question. Okay, if you have any other like really great questions, send them to me. Okay, that was really great. Wonderful conversation. Next one's EVP, also another great meeting. The EVP is Executive Vice President of the university. Is Mark Dingfield. This man sees like all of the university's operations, including like finances and whatnot, investments, facilities, use of space, financial relationships with Philadelphia, etc. So what are some questions that we have for the EVP? David?
Yeah, I would like to know about Penn's involvement and investment in the University City District. Or transparency about that.
Listen.
Yeah, on that note, like similar conversation to last year on investment disclosure.
Yeah.
Is it under their purview to ask about land investments in the future, like things they're selling off or considering buying?
Yeah. So do you want to ask about future plans for land
Yes,
investment?
if there's any plans to sell or buy anything.
Okay. Julia?
Like I know that they have there's a new EVP, like what is his vision for the role? I don't know, like. What is he adding? I don't know.
Okay. David?
I guess a clarification too. I'd like to know more about Penn's involvement and the UCD's involvement in the Amtrak 30th Street Station Development Project.
What, sorry, what project?
The Amtrak 30th Street Station Transit-Oriented Development Project, because they've been mirrored in some corruption lately.
Transit-oriented development project.
Like Amtrak 30th Street District Project.
You want to ask what the university's involvement is in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know the university is a partner with the UCD, so.
Thank you. What's up?
Wait, gentrification considerations.
like you mean to ask me if they're gentrifying Philadelphia? Or like...
that empty part.
You gotta be direct, you know?
Yeah, we'll figure out how to word that one. Yeah. Great question.
Stop gentrifying neighborhoods, dog.
No, it's a great question. That's again like the type of purview that we should be asking.
My go-to.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. What?
Oh, revenue from intellectual property that they own in like I'm thinking of drugs, but it could be anything else. Seriously.
Research.
Yeah, but has it gone up? Has it gone down in recent years? What's it looking like?
Jack.
I think this falls under the purview, but like whether projects like tearing down DRL and replacing DRL, hopefully, then
They are.
those are, I know that's the plan. If they're still going through with that, given
Yeah.
uncertainty in federal funding.
You guys have
Communications
about
from
this
the Trump administration.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. They're doing.
They are still planning, like they talked about that in our first meeting. They're still
Okay.
planning to do it. I don't know what the timeline is. Was there a timeline?
It was
Well-
like starting next year, they're gonna move over.
You were at the trustee meeting and they didn't propose it. which is
Yeah,
not-
I was at the trustee committee for facilities and campus planning, which I'll talk about later, but we did not talk about plans immediately for DRL. That'll probably be a discussion topic for our next meeting in spring.
And they have to vote on the plan, so that means it's not gonna happen between now and the next trustee meeting.
No, I know.
Because they have
It's
to
gonna
go
be fine.
Yeah.
We can still ask for updates then. If there's room on the agenda, we can ask about it. Eddie.
Like the building of like the new like performance arts building and like that like how's like that going? Is that like it's still scheduled to like be finished on time, things like that?
Did we ask those?
It might be more Fres.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's more Fred's question, but
They oversee.
because Fred's like oversees more of like that direct planning. I think EDP is where like those initial plans start, and then Fred's is where the execution happens. Carol.
We had a large growth in the endowment, and I'm wondering if they're gonna take more of the return. They're not gonna increase the perspective.
No.
More specifically with the University District, do we contribute the same amount the Drexel does? And then the next question is the St. Joe's is selling a lot of their property in University, and are we looking to purchase any of that?
There's some areas that like merge between Penn and Drexel's or collaboration. like any of these investments.
Okay. Like one more question.
Aiden.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know if this falls under their like purview, but 1920 Common because of renovations, they're taking down songs. And replacing it with like a lower level coffee house or something like that, on the lower 2 levels of commons, so like maybe asking like how that's gonna look like and what the coffee house is gonna be.
Do you have a response?
Yeah, I do. They talked about it during the meeting and I also asked Scales in a follow-up. They're not getting rid of Grauman's. They're gonna be like keeping it like.
It's Stamens.
Oh, Stamens. Oh, never mind. Yeah.
They're replacing
Never mind.
Starbucks.
I completely misheard then. I can email.
Hey, we shouldn't be supporting Starbucks anyways.
Not wrong, but I'm gonna email Skills tomorrow also with some recommendations for the layout and I can also ask about the coffee house.
Yeah, because I don't know, it's like when would Solomon be renovated? Because I know the renovations finished in 2029.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming they're treating the lower level. So like.
I can double check the photos I took. I think the plan said like the ground floor was going to be like. I wanna say like fall 2027. I can double check the photos I took.
Okay. Any other questions? No. Okay, great. That was wonderful. Great conversation. Thanks so much, guys.
And I'll just ask for the device to go away, including the phones under the table.
Okay, really quickly, I met with Penn Staley, their president, really good meeting. We're gonna be working with Penn Staley and other club sports teams to get more funding towards these groups and also try and get Penn State to be a varsity sport so we can save a lot of money. And we'll talk about that more next week. Yeah.
Can you elaborate on the meeting?
Yeah, so what specifically?
I'm just really interested in what they talked about, what you talked about, what our next.
Yeah, I think there's 3 main considerations that Penn State has for wanting to be a varsity team. The first is that they have to like do all the same things varsity teams do without the compensation or benefits. For example, they pay to use the varsity weight room, but they don't get access to like the trainers. So varsity, like Penn State people get injured, they have to pay for their own medical fees, relative to like varsity sports can access their own trainers. The second is they have a full-time coach who works a job of like 3 coaches, and they also pay out of pocket for that coach. And then lastly, like they are unable to like host tournaments nor go to that many tournaments, given they perform at like I think the top 20 in the nation. And also they like are $100,000 of like spent total per year. So pretty high budget, pretty high cost. And then goals with them is to get them varsity recognized and athletics can absorb some cost. Amira?
I was gonna say, like, if Penn Sailing did become a varsity sport, does the UI know what we do with those like excess funds? Like, is there a specific place that we'd reallocate that money to?
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of holes in the budget that can be filled with like $50,000 to $75,000. So I'm sure it'll go to good causes. Yeah, more internal funding. I'm kidding.
God.
And then any more questions on this? We'll talk about it more next week with a more like robust proposal. And then upcoming meetings. Main one is December 3rd is the open forum for University Council. This is gonna be a really interesting meeting because any member of the community can submit a statement and then come up and say that statement to like the president, provost, etc. So if you want to come watch that happen, it'll occur on the 3rd. Also, there'll be a discussion regarding the like committee name change out of diversity and equity. But that's all.
Okay, so for me, past meetings, I had my ride along with Drexel Police on Friday evening. Busted a couple parties.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude.
You did us.
Yeah. No, they didn't care. We actually went and we realized it wasn't loud enough. So apparently, actually, I probably shouldn't.
Looking to shut it down.
Well, we received a call from, apparently there are Penn professors that live in the area that sometimes call. I don't know, I'm probably not supposed to say that, but anyway,
The main takeaway I had, a couple takeaways. One, Drexel does not have our radio.
when Penn Police need to contact Drexel Police, they have to call them, which is absurd. We do have a different frequency than Philly and all the other local law enforcement agencies, but I believe we have Drexel's, but they do not have ours. And for example, there was a major instance last night with a bunch of juveniles and Drexel had to respond to that as well. But in those instances, like Penn would have to physically call. Yeah. So yeah, Penn would have to actually call Drexel, which I think is a major issue. So I'm gonna be following up about that. In terms of upcoming meetings, Yadu and I are gonna start to explore a resolution on the event capacity limits and restrictions on events. We also have a meeting coming up with OPSL shortly, so we'll be discussing that. But if people are interested in looking into that further and potentially writing a resolution, let me know. There's a lot to look into, but definitely has been a big change this year. Membership updates. We do have, unfortunately, a few people that have stepped down. Michelle, Jessica, Nishal have stepped down, and Max and Sama have been removed. Sad to see them go, but we hope that they come back for future meetings. We do have a feedback form that I would love for everyone to fill out. It's anonymous, so obviously, like, I'm not gonna be tracking who's filling it out and who isn't. But we would really like to have some feedback on the UA in general, GBMs, our relationships with you all, committee structure, committee meetings, everything basically that we do, socials. So please scan that. We're gonna be pushing that out in committees as well. I'll send it in Slack and in an email. But please, I guess I'll let you have the phones up for a second, but at least to scan that and then you can put your phones away.
This is, to be brutally honest about how the assembly is going, but we genuinely will be taking this feedback to heart and like really want to implement some changes if there's any that need to be changed. So it's just gonna be honest with us.
You can tell me how much you hate the tech policy. And this upcoming one, which is gonna be even more popular. So moving forward, decided that we will only have Zoom available for those who are abroad or in the District of Columbia, in Penn and Washington. So after this week, you'll either be here in person, or if you're abroad, you'll have access to Zoom. But we will no longer have Zoom available for everyone. So that's the change going forward. I know we have several questions. I'd be happy to answer them.
If you're sick, do you just have to like take the absence?
Yes, you do. As an elected member, you can miss 4.5 meetings, and as an associate member, you can miss this semester it's 7. So
And as a member of the public, we miss all of them.
yeah, that is true. And we do have the YouTube live stream available. So if you are really interested in watching the meetings, you can do that still. But we won't have Zoom anymore.
Why?
And if we can listen up, please.
What was the reasoning?
So as you can see, Leah's the only one that has his camera on. We didn't used to have Zoom. We didn't used to have Zoom, and we feel that the files are relatively lenient in terms of attendance. You can miss several meetings, and we want to build a tight community in here, and Zoom isn't necessarily conducive to that. Also, there are people that use it week after week after week, which is really not what it's for. So at least for now, the policy will be that it's just for people that are abroad.
I think the third thing is also like, it's looking like a bit of a waste of time to also like go on Zoom and like half listen and like not make the most out of like your own studying, or like if you're going to like a game or something, you know? So like it kind of like serves both purposes, so you can be more attentive in and out.
Who left? Wait, who left?
So what if you are actually away and you want to still participate in the meetings and receive some sort of like credit for being a part of the GBMs, and you are just physically away on a trip or something like that? Like, I know that's a small case exception. With Zoom, is there still gonna be a Zoom to join for something like that, so you can still interact?
We'll have Zoom available for people that are abroad.
Okay.
For the semester.
Out of state.
Where you can miss 4.5 meetings. If you want to watch on YouTube, you can. We can have further discussion about it. At the moment, the policy is that you only have access if you're abroad.
Yeah, I know.
Can we listen up, please? Sorry. AJ.
Yeah, I think someone asked why. I mean, I think the whole point of the Zoom meeting is like for accessibility reasons. And again, like, I feel like a lot of it, well, I've never been on Zoom, but I feel like if I needed to do the option, I think I would want that to be an option. I don't see like the measures for having it outside of this, just for it being study abroad. I mean, I know that you're trying to limit it to the people who are doing it week by week. Is there like, or maybe I'll add this on the feedback.
I think. We'll go. So there's no bylaw on this. This is just a policy we've had. We also have only had this like for a couple of sessions. This isn't something that, is built into the structure of the UA. So at the moment, that's the way we're moving with the policy.
Is there an option for me, if I wanna be there if I'm out of state, to be on Zoom and not receive any attendance credit for it, if I wanted to listen in and
I can consider that, but at the moment, this is the way that we're moving forward.
even if I receive zero?
I will certainly consider that.
What do we do in the case of like long-term illnesses? For example, let's say I get a concussion and I'm not able to attend GBM because these lights are super bright.
Then you shouldn't be able to sit, you should be on Zoom if you have a concussion.
Agreed.
Yes.
But like in other cases, like long-term illnesses, like we're like, I'm just not able to come for weeks on end. Like, what do I do in that
Well,
case?
you can, in the bylaws, you can take a medical leave. And that's always an option if people have long-term illnesses.
Okay.
What if it's like the case where you like actually like can't walk because you just like injured yourself? Like I know it's like rare, but
We'll evaluate all cases, but this is the way that we're moving forward.
Andrew Lou has a question for you.
Wait, this is specific as a transfer. If transfer seat is empty, do we take the next person hypothetically?
That is what we have done previously.
Is that what will be done, or that was vaguely?
So these have all the movements have happened in the last few hours. So we'll discuss this week and
Last 2 hours?
the last few hours.
Oh, I was like, damn. Okay.
So
All right.
we'll be sure to announce those decisions in the near future.
All right.
I just advise, I know there's a lot of like what if questions, if you have specific questions that are pertinent to a specific example that you have, just ask Aiden directly. I think in general, a lot of this has come from people just abusing the Zoom policy as is, and it's unfortunate, but I don't see that we can have productive assembly if we're not gonna be engaging on Zoom. So that's kind of like the broad answer to majority of these questions here. But if you have something specific, then just direct your questions to Aiden. Okay?
Was this decision made solely by you or all of UA Academy?
Ultimately, I'm the one that makes the decision, but I consulted others. Yeah. But you can be real mean on that more.
H2.
I'm proud, I'm happy to say I also like seconded this.
Where I low-key like wanted Zoom though. Like,
Shut up.
How else am I gonna see Aiden be on a Zoom calling live?
But you do like a policy where you allow like 1 or 2 Zoom sessions per like season.
We discussed that. At the moment, this is what the policy is, but we will continue to evaluate and see if changes need to be made.
If the issue is like people are participating on it and people just like.
Yeah, can we listen up, please?
Wait, guys, stay seated. I will bring cake. There wasn't for you guys to come grab.
Hey, can we please listen up? Thank you.
And the people who are like participating with like their video on get credit and the people who just aren't participating just not get credit. I feel like that's pretty like.
It's just like.
Yeah, I will give the same answer. We will certainly continue to evaluate this policy. And feel free to add that into the feedback form.
Well, I'm just, this is like a specific like principle / logistics like question. Since there's like no actual like bylaw or policy on this, couldn't like technically speaking, if somebody wanted to, they can bring up a bylaw amendment.
Absolutely. Anyone can bring a bylaw amendment at any point. You just have to present it one GBM prior and then you vote on it the next one. But if people are passionate, I would absolutely love for there to be a bylaw and we can certainly change the way things are run. Jimmy?
Yeah, is there any way we could do like
a straw, like a test poll to see if there is a general consensus in the assembly that people would be supportive of such a bylaw amendment?
I'm gonna, this is ultimately my decision because there's no bylaw, so. Just like the AM attendance requirement, I'm making this decision, so I understand it may not be popular at the moment, but. This is the decision at the time.
Yeah, but I mean, like, let's say we wanted to hypothetically like introduce a bylaw, could we like test the waters to see like if the assembly's supportive of such a bylaw?
If you wanna bring a bylaw amendment, you're welcome.
Wait, it's like 2 sentences long. Just write it and bring it next week.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Wait, was application like get like a like a show support, like what is that? Yeah, no problem.
Wait, yeah, so in my case, like I told you like 2 or 3 days in advance that I'm like coming down with something, so I won't be able to be there in person just because I don't want to like infect other people, and I also do have an autoimmune disease, so I just like what do we do about that? I just feel like it's kind of unfair if we want to participate on Zoom and we told you like way more than 24 hours in advance.
Yeah, and that this doesn't have to do with anyone specifically, and I appreciate you giving me the notice. Again, we can evaluate if people want to participate, but at the moment, like you have 4.5 absences that you can take. So if you're unwell, we want you to get better. Just like basically no classes have Zoom anymore. If you're ill, you know, we don't want you to come to class, we want you to be here. But we'll certainly continue to evaluate everything. It's like a press conference.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's dialogue?
No. Yeah, this gets people going. All right, if there are no more questions, again, you can throw everything you want in the feedback form. Wait, what?
I forgot to do something.
You forgot to do something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We have, okay, well, we have member of the week. And we'll give you your materials after the meeting or some other later date. If we have a round or drum roll, please. Member of the week. Sophie.
Ben isn't here, but you're doing a lot of great work recently. You've had like a lot of involvement. You're doing a really great job executing a lot of projects lately, following up with different administrators. It's very commendable, and you've also kind of like the DP article, like this, things like that. It's commendable. So we want to appreciate that. Oh, that works.
Yay, Mookie Pookie.
If people can put the phones away as well, I appreciate it very much. I'll just wait for folks to do that. If you don't mind waiting a moment, if not. Yep.
Okay, hi everyone. Real quick, I had my 2 budget meetings, one-on-ones with Mert and class board, talked about their current budget and how we can support them for next year. I also had a trustee meeting with the budget and finance committee on Thursday, and I just wanted to bring up a bunch of numbers that I thought were cool. So the endowment is composed of 8,000 individual funds, and the total for this year is $24.8 billion. 90% of it is donor restricted, means that if the donor says use it for this reason, then they're allowed to tap into it. Otherwise, they can't. And the funds compose half the total endowment value, so about $12.5-ish billion. The return for this year, I believe this was correct. I just had like scribbles, so I couldn't fully remember, but it was $294 million. And 51% will go to faculty and institutional support, 21% to healthcare, 12% to research, 9% to undergrad aid, and 7% to grad aid. And to Aiden's point, they said they can't raise the payout because in the long run, that payout is not going to cover the full cost. They showed a presentation, it was really cool.
So 90% of the 8,000 individual funds are donor restricted funds.
Yes.
But so 90% of all the funds are only half of the endowment.
Yes.
Okay.
So like about 7-ish thousand of those
10%,
funds.
10% of those individual funds are like $12 billion.
Yes.
And do you know if those are like Penn
restricted or something?
funds, or they're like also like private?
They didn't disclose. That's all they said about those. Overall, they talked about expenses. There's higher increase on higher grant spending because of the federal cuts. There's decrease in staff and PhD full-time enrollment because of recent federal policies, and overall increase in professors enrollment, and there's no increase in students. And they had a presentation from the dean of dental school, which I thought was really interesting. Cause 2 or 3 years ago, there was like a 7-year program, like get a bachelor's from Penn, then a 4-year dental degree. It was stopped, and I don't think it was on, well, like, yes, like it's not a thing anymore. And a lot of people who were in the program, a lot of questions if they're still allowed to like do it, question mark. There wasn't any information also online about it, which was really interesting. But they're looking into creating some sort of a submat for the bachelor's to do 3 years at Penn and then go to dental school. But it's interesting that they already have this program with students in Villanova, Muhlenberg, Lehigh, and Hampton University. I thought it was interesting. I don't know why. But not Penn. Yeah, they stopped the Penn one, but they still have this existing with other schools. It was interesting. And also, fun fact, like Penn Dental is the highest tuition. It's like $155K a year out of all 12 schools. But that was it for the trustee meeting. Really exciting. I had my weekly one-on-one with Katie, talked about the annual budget, SAC stuff, and club resolution. We met today, and we will bring a discussion paper next week, hopefully. And same thing, my one-on-ones with Katie, SAC for exec and club sports next week. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Okay, pretty short report from me. So I had my academic trustee committee meeting on the same day Naya and Mo had theirs. I didn't write that much about it because it was basically about Penn libraries and how they support faculty and research. So not really that much pertaining to us, but super cool about open access and how Penn libraries and papers done by Penn professors sort of can be accessible to everyone, and how that makes them eligible for more federal grants as well, and so that professors don't have to pay out of pocket for like cost of publishing their papers. So very interesting, not much pertaining to us. So yeah, no.
So did anyone ask, or did they talk about how you can get access to more papers like published in different places that Penn doesn't pay for?
Okay, so they really talked about how Penn is trying to pay for a variety of like publishing sites, but they really stressed open access as like the new thing in academic paper publishing in terms of like by the end of the year they want over 80, and then the next 2 years they want 80% of Penn published papers to be accessible for free. They're already at 50%. I don't think they have control over whether other institutions like use open access. I know that open access is encouraged for federal grant providers to get federal grants. And then they also said that they're trying to pay for as many services for students as they can to access like things that are not open access. Any other questions about that? There's also a faculty panel of like 4 different Penn professors talking, one from the dental school, one from the nursing school, and 2 from School of Arts and Sciences talking about their research. One of them was a political science professor, super cool, Matthew Lewandowski, who did a paper about the polarization of democracy, and how his article on open access has been cited hundreds and hundreds of times. Okay, any other questions about that? Okay, so I have a meeting with Penn Labs tomorrow, and I know a lot of you have projects, especially in AI, pertaining to Penn Labs. So I just wanted a forum here to ask if anybody has topics that they'd like to bring up with Penn Labs other than ticketing, Penn Labs ticketing. If anyone wants to platform any projects they have, either Slack me or ask me now. Yeah.
Just like glitches in the app. I don't know if, I guess I'm using my phone, so if people want to check. Like the GSR thing is just like bugging out. I don't know if that's just on my phone
Okay.
or not. Also for the dining analytics routinely, gets, like the graph is just not
Yeah.
correct at all.
Mhm.
So if you ask about those bug fixes.
Yeah. No.
I guess also like it signs you out randomly when you check like analytics.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't, sorry, I missed this, you said this already, but they also do, courts do.
Yeah.
Also asking them for an update, they wanted to have a similar forum where student could actually leave comments, but there was a lot of like administrative pushback on that, like leave comments on.
On
professors, so
Penn Courts, yeah,
actually
I
made
remember.
progress on
Okay.
I feel like this was mentioned a while back, but like they have like some plans for like a degree auditing kind of like project of theirs, if I'm correct.
It's already on.
Oh, it's already on?
That's
It's already on
Okay, never
that.
mind.
Yeah.
We're back to the course packages. I just wanted to ask like how they use that for maturity assessments. Like, do they make like any evaluations based on what students are saying?
Does who?
Like, do they look at the feedback? Like, if people are complaining or grading professors.
Do professors look at it?
No, not professors, but like.
Penn Lab?
Like, yeah, do they look at that information and.
So you're asking if Penn Labs looks at the reviews and
send them to anyone like.
Let me just clarify what Penn Labs as a physical body is. It's literally a group of like students who like are in their basement, like typing on their basement. But like that's like it's literally a group of students who run the entirety of Penn Labs. So just to note that. So to your answer, I don't think they would look at it specifically, but in terms of like if professors or anyone administratively look at that, the course evaluations that go out at the end of the semester. Oh, you guys haven't had this yet.
Yeah.
You have to fill out course evaluations to get your grades released. Transcripts at the end of the year. So that's what
Yeah.
will be evaluated, but Penn Labs wouldn't do that because they're just.
Like, it doesn't get sent to them.
It's public, so like.
it's public,
Professors
so
read them.
professors might read them,
Even
but
evil ones do. They'll tweet about their reviews.
no, I don't think Penn Labs like sends them an email like, oh, like this class, like they all thought you were horrible. Like I don't think they do that. Yeah, Sophie.
It might already be on your list, but there was someone in AI who wanted to do like a ranking that's based on how accessible the course is,
Yeah,
with, like
yeah.
disability. So
Yeah.
I was asking if that would be possible.
I'm gonna ask about that. I think that's a wonderful idea. CK?
Is Penn Labs keen on collaborating with possible automation for the text line?
Okay, I can ask them about that. Yeah.
I can send you more details.
Okay.
I will send you more.
Tanya?
Have they considered like putting hours of buildings based on like your pen card on the app? Like certain buildings can only be accessed by certain pen cards at certain times.
That's interesting. I do know, you want them to put on the app. That's what
I'm
you're
just like wondering if they've ever considered any like service that would provide that as part of Penn Labs.
to give that information, like,
Oh, on the app, on the
okay.
website.
Yeah, Pierce.
If they've considered if I can look up like what a course attribute is on their Penn course review, like for example, EUHS is like CS Humanities. If I can look
Okay.
up in their
Yeah.
search bar EUHS, because you can do
To
that
see.
at Penn.
But then you can't do it, yeah.
in Penn course review.
Okay, I can ask about that.
No.
Okay, so please.
If they're like looking into improving Penn clubs, that website.
Okay, yeah.
What about it?
What exactly?
Because it's kind of like the information there is not up to date, and I know that they're supposed to be like fixing it, but I just wanted to know like if there's like a timeline for that something.
Can I answer this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as part of all the clubs getting OSA recognized next year, they have to have their Penn clubs updated. So
What is OSA?
like Office of Student Affairs.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you want to get funding for next year, all clubs have to update everything on the website. So hopefully it should be solved like by next year.
okay, so that's not this one.
Is there like a requirement for clubs to have like the same form for applications, like this if it's through Google Docs or like Google Forms or like through Penn clubs?
No.
No.
No. So do you want me to ask? No.
Sorry, that's not printed, so.
Oh, okay. AJ?
Going back to the question that Sophia asked, I think we talked about it also in CES, maybe more, Alexa can add on to it, but yeah, a lot of the clubs, like, if they wanna be SAC organized, they're already updating their clubs, and I don't think, Penn Clubs is directly like wanting that, it's more of like a SAC thing, or a OSA, that they're like overseeing. that those clubs are active on the clubs, because that's a requirement now.
So you want me to ask them to continue to like?
No, it was just replying to request.
Oh, just reply, okay, sorry. Pablo,
I was wondering like if there could be a way to integrate the pen code review in pilot pen instead of like having to like.
I don't think they're gonna go for that one, but I can.
Not only.
Because they don't manage pen.
They don't manage Path Pen, that's managed by the registrar and. Amira,
Piggybacking off what Pierce said, is there any way that you could like look up like two requirements at the same time on pen course review? Like, I don't think you can currently, but seeing like what double counts.
Me and Jocelyn are doing that. But like in Path at 10 is what we're trying first, and then we'll move to Path.
But yeah, also for pen course review.
okay,
I will note that this is not for Julia, but I just discovered this. There's a part on Pen Course Review that you can look up and you can click good and easy, and it'll give you courses that are only like above a certain like quality and below a certain difficulty. For next year.
Just typing good and easy.
No, it can tell me you can click on a drop down.
That would help with this one.
Yeah.
okay. Fabia,
Is there like? I look for all my questions. They'll come back to me.
okay, if you want, it's Slack, remember it. Anyone else have questions about Pen Labs? Oh, Fabia.
I just remembered, is there a reason that, you guys might know this, is there a reason that Pen Clubs is now behind Pen? Because like,
Pen clubs.
there's like Pen Clubs is Pen key restricted now.
I
just expect the students to not look at clubs. It's like come up.
I think it's just part of like broader university, like intentions to protect a lot more, but Penn State have like a lot of Penn websites now under. But it's a good point, but I'm sure they don't necessarily expect you to talk about Penn Club anymore.
No, we get submissions.
We can ask.
That's a good
Can't
idea.
access it.
So that was at Pen Clubs.
Yeah.
I have talked about my app.
No,
Okay, adding more questions, like you can text me in or put it in the Slack.
You don't need to.
We give this up to Julia, please.
And then lastly, airport shuttles. So business services did confirm the dates with me later, like a few days ago. So I'm putting out signups early this week. And then I went to comms on Wednesday to discuss advertising efforts. And so we are doing a series of videos / reels. We're getting a shuttle. I'm gonna tell Mike Bernhardt about what we're gonna do shuttle. We're gonna do like, do you want the house tour? You know, like that TikTok. Like welcome to my MTV crib, like all this fun stuff. So if you want to be in the videos, or if you want to write, like I know we have a wonderful comms team and they're working on it, but if you have ideas and you want to help, we would love that. This is a big effort. So just be on the lookout for that.
So what are the confirmed dates? Are we doing the 2 days prior?
We're doing the 2 days prior to Thanksgiving. And we're doing from the first day 10 to 8 p.m. and then on the Wednesday 7 to 7, so 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we're gonna put out signups with, you know, the airport shuttle shift, which I think I explained in an early GPM. But if you have questions, please ask me. If you can't do an airport shuttle shift, I know some of you already Slacked me, which is wonderful. If you can't do it, please let me know. Because you are away, but this is required for attendance if you do, and it's also required to do promo, and all of you can do that, regardless of where you are. And so, yes, we will be doing the promo, which is like reposting stuff, but then we're also doing like reels and stuff. I don't know if you guys looked at the Instagram before you, Naya and De Silva did a wonderful video last year. But we're gonna do some reels and some fun. So if you want to be in it, if you want to work on it, I'd love to have you. And that's it. That's all from me.
Good stuff. I love airport shuttles. I did way too much of them last year, but I know they're gonna be good this year. Unfortunately, I'm never gonna get my walk-up music ever again. So
yeah.
Well, it was a good song. It was a great song, actually. So that's going to be edited just because Rafa cannot come and present today. So I'll jump straight into my meeting updates. Just the fact that first, the Residential Services Advisory Board met this past Friday, its first meeting of the semester. Ishika went to represent the UA and she said it was some really good stuff, which we'll talk about in a future meeting in a discussion paper. And then for a meeting that I had recently, I had my trustee committee meeting on facilities and campus planning. So two really big topics that we discussed there were the renovations that are coming to 1920 Commons, as well as like the creation of a new like black box entrance for the Annenberg Theater. If you don't mind, actually, I'm going to pull up the DP article that Aiden Shaughnessy wrote. He cooked on that, just to kind of provide some photos for the audience as well. I forgot how to spell daily for a moment. I think I made a typo somewhere. I did not.
Why didn't you hyperlink it?
Why did I microlink it? Because I just thought of it during GBM.
Right there, the bottom.
Oh, it is? Where? But yeah. What's it called? Just giving, well, first off, shout out to Aiden once again for writing this shit. It was, well, writing this, it was a wonderful piece. Good stuff. But what's it called? Yeah. So, sorry?
Sorry.
So yeah, to kind of give a rundown for the plan and construction of Commons, they're planning on starting it this upcoming summer. And it's supposed to be like a top-down like renovation of the building to kind of really make it like not just a dining hall like for students, but to really make it a community space like for like the west side of campus. So a really big part of that is going to this new glass structure that they're building. If any of you guys have been to kind of like Stallman's and know that outdoor seating area, they're going to change that, or they're going to build on top of that to now create this, which is like an open glass, like with a green roof, etc. Just like a really nice space for like students to commune and really just like enjoy spending their time on campus. Let's see what other images we got here. So yeah, let me see.
Can you scroll up for a second?
Sure.
That one on the left, the rendition on the left, is that a new building or is that still the same?
That's the same comment. So this is like your perspective if you're on the lawn of ATO.
Yeah.
So what's it called? Sorry? What's it called? So they're getting rid of like the metal facade and instead like going back to kind of this like bare stone faced. I believe they also mentioned this during the meeting, and I'm actually going to email this to Mr. Scales tomorrow. But like this is going to be the main entrance now for 1920s Commons. And like, you know, as a part of these other like grand renovations, they're also getting rid of, you guys know like that semi-shady alley on like the side of like Grauman's, like you take the stairs up to, etc. They're getting rid of those, or they're getting rid of that. They're gonna like, they are.
How do you get down now?
I was gonna get to that. God damn. What's it called? They're now building a ramp from 38th Street up to here. So it would be kind of like running parallel to the ramp going up on Locust Walk. So there's a little ramp down over here that I don't know if there's a photo of. Yeah. So what's it called? I'll also probably pass around my laptop after this or plug it into the UA Slack. Just I didn't know whether or not I was able to share these photos. Clearly I am. So that's good to know.
So
Mhm.
that building is square, but Commons is round. I just want to point that out.
The facade of Commons is round.
Yeah, so their rendition is wrong.
Or they're just changing.
But I thought Aiden just said that they weren't.
I believe in our meetings, Scale said that they were changing.
Yeah, they are changing the facade, but I guess I could see how it does seem rather rectangular. But what's it called? But yeah, no, I could bump it. I'm also gonna ask about just like general accessibility because for myself, what's it called? Like I also feel like this being the main entrance is a little far, and like there should be at least like some entrance like on like 38th Street for people that don't want to go up. It's a personal pet peeve, but yeah, that was one of the main things we talked about. That took a large chunk of it. So yeah, they're gonna be developing it in phases. So the like 1920 Commons, like some part of it will be in consistent operation throughout its time here at Penn. The final construction is anticipated to finish December 2028. So our freshmen here, you guys will have at least one semester with the fully renovated Commons. So enjoy that because I ain't. But what's it called? Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Like they're planning on starting this coming summer with the first structure they're building being this glass facade before they work from the bottom up to renovate the building. So during the period in which 1920s, like the dining hall itself, like dining space itself is being renovated, there's going to be a temporary dining hall in the space that occupies Grauman's and Stallman's and Amazon's, which is now going to be a part of a now even bigger Grauman's, which has a lot of really exciting stuff, including, I'm trying to remember, actually, I'm not going to say just in case they do end up changing plans and I don't want to build false hopes, but it's fun stuff. It's really exciting.
Have they thought about calling exterminators while they're renovating that?
I can definitely ask Scales that in my email to him tomorrow because I also have my upcoming meeting with him to talk more about these renovations because I have a couple ideas.
Meetings open to the public, can say anything.
Okay. What's it called? I believe also in the minutes then there were also talks about in this new Grauman's to have kind of like something of a mixture between like Houston Hall and Grauman's as well, where you have kind of like your stereotypical grab and go like with grocery items, as well as with like, you know, like a couple like food stations for you to like place food in advance and these like ghost kitchens where they have their food waiting for you in lockers to kind of pick up.
In lockers.
In lockers. It's exciting.
You're gonna scan a QR code and unlock.
Yeah, pretty much like your Amazons, which I didn't know it was called that before until like that meeting. But yeah, the other big thing we talked about was the new entrance that's being built to Annenberg. So this is in Annenberg Plaza, so over by like Elmo's. What's it called? So what?
We don't need this. Like, what are we doing this?
This is sick. Wait, for those of you that are in performing arts groups, this is pretty sick because they're gonna have a brand new black box like practicing space for you guys to be having your like shows, etc. I don't remember. Okay, yeah. So courtesy of the article, it's planned to start 2026. But I personally really found it exciting. I thought it was worth sharing. I guess not. But yeah, is there anything I guess with like questions regarding Commons or the new entrance at Annenberg that I can answer or at least bump to Michael's scales to get much clearer answers on? Perfect. Okay. And then some for upcoming meeting. Oh, I'm so sorry. Wait, and also I'm gonna make this more fun. Catch. I was trying to make it more engaging. That clearly did not. Shut the fuck up, Charmaine. So well.
What's your language?
Yeah.
What groups are mandated for like what's the training? Like, is there any student say where you zone like in this choosing what happened?
That's a really good question. And I think, am I gonna try to answer this? I think, actually, I don't know honestly their methodology, but I will definitely bump that question. Do you mind passing it back? Thank you. No?
Yes. I look an answer to it, and so when I look past meetings, they usually like do look at like what has been like renovated like most recently to like as like fast as possible, and then like kind of like do that. But then it's sometimes like very urgent and then like prioritize it. But as you can tell, like this was like the Annenberg was decided on in September 2022. So a lot of things are decided on a while in like in advance, and then they plan for it. So it's not like a we decide today, we do tomorrow. You know, it's like there's a
Yeah, any other questions though with Commons, etc.? Like if you have like any recommendations based on the blueprints, like I know I'm gonna be sending a couple to scales in terms of accessibility, but what's it called? Anything's fair game.
Oh no.
Okay, maybe not.
We get a sprinkler, go off.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, is there anything in the new student performing arts center next to Hill?
Wait, can you repeat that?
Yeah, is there any like what's the timeline on that?
Good question. I think the timeline is out online. You can see it over by the construction site. I want to say it was spring 2026 last time I walked by. I could be wrong.
Okay, but like no delays there. Like was that brought up at all?
No, I don't think delays were brought up at all. For the most part, like the meeting was pretty centered on Commons and Annenberg. But yeah, I asked like a question about like the design for that new space, but for the most part, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Hey, David, I don't know if I picked one. Oh, I don't know. Okay, yeah, I'm not bringing the pig next time. This is the last one we've done.
Okay, I just wanna ask a clarifying question about the Commons format. Is it staying all you can eat or are they like going towards like more retail oriented option?
So they're gonna keep the all you can eat option for like the what's it called? Like the dining space itself, but like I think for like ramens, like which will be like substantially changed by this renovation, just with the new space that they'll have from Amazon's, that they'll probably look towards also like accommodating those. What's it called? That they're gonna be looking to combine like the traditional style of.
We get listen up, please.
They're gonna look to combine the traditional style of Grauman's with kind of like some like mini Houston's like grab and goes. And then Ryan?
I just wanted to ask, like, how is it gonna work when it's being renovated? I know you said that they're gonna have a dining hall above, but what will happen to like the Starbucks below it's renovated?
Aiden raised a question about that earlier, like about the start, like the coffee house specifically, and I'll bump that in my email to Michael Skills tomorrow. But like, I guess like for the general plan is like they're gonna be doing it in like phases. So at one point during the building construction, like Stallman's will be closed, and like like that sucks. But what's it called? Like, and then like the next year, like a couple months later, it'll be reopened, and like they'll just kind of do it in a phased approach to make sure the building is in constant operation. Just because back when we were discussing like like I guess like solution, like I guess like alternatives to Commons while it was under construction, like there was the idea of like a temporary dining hall being like erected outside of like Du Bois, and people were just not the massive fan of it. Yeah.
I don't know if this is like too far fetched, but since Starman's been closed for a period of time, like, is there any possibility of using a different coffee shop or a different Starbucks, like either the one that's kind of like the street of Chipotle or like the one that's close to Hill and Mortar.
Mhm.
And he was shaking his head.
Oh, what's it called?
But like using dining dollars, because like a lot of people obviously use their dining dollars at Starbucks.
Yeah, so I believe this was actually talked about at the last dining advisory board meeting back in April, but I don't think they were like really looking into that as an option. Yeah,
To go back to the Starbucks comment,
Oh.
this could be wrong, but I know the Starbucks that's above the bookstore. I don't know if they actually fixed their system, but they're supposed to take dining dollars, cause I remember like the first time I went there. The person told me that they usually have their system up, but it's been down for months.
Is it
So I
Pancast,
guess
like-
maybe you can ask them if they'd be looking into moving the dining dollars option at that location since it's still on campus and it's a part of Penn.
wait, if you don't mind me asking then to clarify, did they ever say that it was explicitly dining dollars or was it Penn Cash? Cause there are some businesses on Penn's campus that only exclusively use Penn Cash and some that only use Penn or dining dollars.
If I remember correctly, it was dining dollars, but that could be wrong.
Okay, I could definitely look into it, and if it is, does use dining dollars, I'll ask it doesn't.
It was never, it was
Okay.
never on the website also, like used just not.
Okay, fair enough. So I probably guess like they might be a Penn Class exclusive location. It's like the Penn bookstore or Starbucks.
No, to order ahead,
Mobile.
transact mobile.
But yeah, any other questions with like, or like comments about like the 1920 renovations? Yeah, David?
Yeah, I know this is a little too much in the future, but will Bon Appetit be renewing their franchise with Starbucks, or will they be like doing their own coffee shop or finding another franchise to go under?
I'll definitely ask that, Aiden. Did they ever talk about this? I feel like, did they ever say like Starbucks would be coming back into that space? Okay, so I'll bump that in my email to Michael or to Mr. Scales. But yeah, any other statements or questions or comments before I go on? Well, oh,
Yeah, there was talk to put a coffee shop in where Mark's is. Did that ever get
What's Mark's?
progressed? Mark's Cafe?
what's Mark's Cafe?
Then health based.
Oh,
Just say that.
what's it called? I don't know if that went anywhere. What?
You weren't here when Mark's Cafe was around, just saying.
Wait, I was here when Mark's Cafe was around. I'd never heard of it.
Let's try to keep on track.
So yeah, I can definitely ask about that as well. Like, I guess like just to clarify your question, if they're renewing plans to kind of pursue a coffee shop down there.
Yeah, cause they did have plans to put a coffee shop in.
Okay, we'll ask. But yeah, just kind of moving on quickly, I'm gonna have a meeting I'm gonna have my UC on facilities this coming Thursday. We're gonna be talking a lot about like the building a new housing specifically for graduate students. I know it's a weird difference. So trustees is with like the members of the Penn's Board of Trustees, and then UC is more with like university like council leadership. So I'm gonna be meeting with them, just talking about like bike safety on campus as well as the building a new graduate student housing on campus, fun stuff. And then I'm gonna be having my Michael Scales one-on-one either this week or next week. But yeah, just quickly going over some projects. Shout out to Aiden Carroll, who has now finished his project with the voting A-frames. Never looked someone look so dissatisfied and finishing a project. Fucking too.
Up 60% from 2023.
Shout out to Penley's to vote. But what's it called? What's it called? Kavantis cooking on the Penn Student Census. Thank you so much for your help. And he will be sending, myself and Kavant will be sending out Google Forms to your committees just to quickly fill out during like your committee time, just to give us some more like direct and pointed questions for this year's census, just so we really get as much usable data out of it as we can. What's it called? Tanisha has been cooking with new beverages in Houston Market. I don't want to jinx it, but what I will say is that there's gonna be a lot healthier options there in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. What's it called? Leo is cooking so far on the composting project. A lot of really great stuff happening in that group chat. I really need to keep up with it, but it's really great. And then Salon working on sustainable move out and collaborating with EI on the initiative. But yeah, that's about it for me. Thank you guys so much. Oh shit, I was long.
So, hey guys, how are you? So I met with Princeton and Cornell's environmental chairs this week, and it was a really interesting meeting. We talked about like composting. They have a composting lab, which is really cool. And like kind of their overall relationship with the sustainability office. The meeting notes are linked, but if you guys have like any questions about that. Okay. If any come up, just let me know. Oh, yes.
Do they have like any, at Princeton or Cornell, do they have like actual confirmation of like recycling and composting for their university?
Not necessarily for recycling that I know of, but composting at Princeton, at all of their dining halls, apparently, like the students themselves do it.
Oh.
And so it's not like behind the scenes, and so I think that's like pretty good confirmation. Okay, awesome. So next update is the West Philly tree planting event that's this Saturday. I brought this up a few weeks ago. So if you guys haven't RSVP'd already and you're available, the link is attached in the agenda. I'll be sending a message in Slack Wednesday just to get a head count of everyone that's coming. And I'll be providing all of like the transportation logistics, meeting logistics for all of that. And then real quick for project updates, the mental health conference happened this weekend. Shout out to everybody who went. I love the UA takeover. That was great. And then next, Ryan is in contact with CSSP. And so I don't know if you like wanted to talk like super briefly about this.
So CSSP is one of our main volunteering programs at Netter. They basically send volunteers across all the different schools that we work with, all of which are 100% economically disadvantaged. And so most of these kids are on SNAP. It's really troubling because we're noticing a lot of changes in attendance, and we need all hands on deck in terms of getting as much food to them as possible. And so they basically reached out to the UA in terms of figuring out different channels to outreach to the student body and see if we can get that food to them. So if there's any suggestions, let me know. I was hoping to talk to Comms about it too. That's good. But yeah, is there any questions about this? Yeah.
I mean, like, how do I donate? Like, is there like a specific location, drop off stuff?
Yeah, so this is not necessarily the updated one, but the donation is gonna occur between, I believe it's this Monday through Wednesday. There's gonna be a flyer for it, and it's gonna be the location. I have to check the flyer.
Okay, so it's like different than what's on here.
It's not. I can't see. I have new glasses.
Okay.
I don't.
We'll update.
But
though.
there's a bunch of different tabling events, if that's what it says up there, is what he told me. I think they got a bunch of different student groups to also help them with tabling, and so it'll just be up and down Lucas.
We talked about this briefly in exec about like making an internal type of competition. So stay tuned for maybe up point this week, where maybe like if you donate, you send like a picture of you donating a large sum, you get like $5 extra off your merch.
Alrighty, great stuff. Okay, so few more project updates that I thought were like pretty cool to announce. Amira is going to be working on maybe doing like an ABCS course for incarcerated youth tutoring. We met with Netter Center. Well, Netter Center presented during CES, and we found this like really cool opportunity. And then Catherine is trying to add a wellness rep into the NSO consent circles. So just a few highlights there. But yeah, that is all.
Hi, here, I'll go through this very briefly. I'm gonna do stuff where they said EDAB has like new initiatives that the deans come up with that they wanna run through certain students, so I'm gonna be part of that focus group and possibly Bavia. Lots of projects have met with lots of admin this week, it's really exciting. Swap Shop, we've renamed it the Penny Shop, which was cute. Shout out, was it Nina who came up with it, or Alex, was it you who came up with it? Yeah.
Penny Shop.
Oh, it was Naya. Oh.
Shout out to Nina, bro.
Shout out Naya. Yeah. We're meeting with Mark Lowe on Thursday. Land Acknowledgement Project has had past meetings and future meetings, and study space hours met with Skew on and Gary Papura on Friday, and Sophie. Yay. That's it. I don't think it's been.
You can refresh.
It's okay, I can do it from memory. So firstly, social media has been doing good. We've got some upcoming posts to promote the text and tell when that's up, to promote our DP article when it goes up this week.
We've got some content from tabling, from like interviewing people on the side of Locust. So that's on the social media side. We also have our first article going up. I've emailed Jack from the DP and stay tuned for that. We'll be making a post. So if you guys could repost it, that would be very exciting. So we like, so people know that like, you know, the UA is writing for the DP, check out our articles. We want people to know that that's happening now. Press secretaries also have a few exciting articles lined up. We've got one focused on athletics. We've got one focused on the Ivy League mental health conference, and also something else. But yes, we've got a few lined up. So hopefully we can be posting those pretty consistently. And then for our engagement, we had tabling again last week, which is great. Thank you for those of you who came. I think it was pretty successful. We are definitely going to be tabling again for airport shuttles, probably like a week before. So we'll send out a sign up sheet for you guys. And obviously we'll be making everyone post as well when we have that content out. And like Julia said, we had a meeting with her. Well, she came to visit our meeting and we had some good brainstorming for airport shuttles promotion. Yes.
I guess update on the printing DP piece.
That's going out this week. That's
Perfect,
the one
thank
that's
you.
going out. Yeah. There was a bit of like, not controversy, but just like debate on whether we should include like our name and like the Dean's Advisory Board's name in the title. To be honest, I don't see any reason why we can't include them. So we just ended up including the UA and DAB. I don't know if anyone has very strong opinions here, but that's what we ended up going with. Yeah. Next slide.
New business, we do have a bylaw amendment that was presented a few weeks ago. So we're now going to formally vote on it. Usab will have 3 minutes to present the document.
Okay, we know how much you guys love UA steering, so we're making it non-mandatory. Essentially, it used to be mandatory for all members. Now it's only 2 out of the 4 mandatory for elected members. Any questions, concerns, comments?
We have 5 minutes for question and answer.
I have a comment.
Yeah.
It's not to discourage associate members. If you guys are interested, you should still like show up. Because I know people in TS talked about it.
Yeah. And the meeting on the 18th will be very, very interesting. I don't know if you guys got my email, but the agenda is pretty interesting.
Fishy's got a question.
Yeah.
Does this include if like an elected member has class during the time of steering?
Wait, if there's recurring conflicts that have been like pre-discussed with Aiden and Julia, then you're already excused by that.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
We also had a question.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could please review like the purpose behind the amendment again.
Yeah, I think UA steering. Well, there's 2 main purposes. One is that we have a lot of AMs, so it would be like a logistical nightmare to like have all the student representatives in full attendance plus all of the UA body in attendance. There's no like 130-person room that we could do a meeting in. And then the second reason is I think there is a harm to having too many voices in a room, in the sense that I think the student representatives felt as though they were getting drowned out by a lot of the UA members. So it's good to have for them like a space to discuss kind of unfiltered.
Thank you.
And I think it's also an importance that we increase attendance requirements for GBM for AM. So this is kind of a way of giving back.
Oh.
Yes.
How generous.
Right, move to open voting.
Well,
Second.
we do.
Motion to Love's Q&A.
Yeah, we can.
Second.
All those in favor,
Where's your goddamn 5 minutes?
last Q&A, elected members, any opposed? So we've, the last Q&A, we now will enter debate.
Love's debate.
We can, yeah, so I would move to the previous question, Lizzie. Ideal.
I have a point of order.
Yes, sir.
Just to clarify what we would be voting on.
So elected members would be voting on amending our current bylaws. You can see where it says amended. And we're changing it from where it says a member to specifying that it would be an elected member.
And just for the sake of the record, can it be answered in the affirmative that this was presented at the previous meeting?
This was presented previously.
Thank you.
Well, I think the bylaws are like non-consecutive meetings, so it's fine to have gaps within the weeks.
My interpretation.
How about that one?
Does it say consecutive?
Well, so it's bylaw 142. It has been presented 1 week prior. So my interpretation that it has been presented and it fulfills that requirement, if that answers your question.
That's not how I do this.
We did have a. Is there a second? All elected members in favor? And this, just so you understand, this moves us to voting. Any opposed? Okay, that motion clearly passes. We'll enter voting procedure, which will be roll call vote.
Motion to modify the board. To raise hand.
So it does specify that we do need to do a roll call vote for this. So we will proceed with the roll call vote.
Naya,
Pro.
Sub,
Pro.
Harold,
Pro.
Mo,
Pro.
I vote pro. Taya, pro. Mary's not here. DeSilva,
Bro.
Chinmay,
Pro.
Monty,
Bro.
Audrey, Eddie,
Bro.
Fishy,
Bro.
Shanti, Ashika,
Pro.
Ale,
Pro.
Pierce,
Abstain.
Fabia,
Bro.
Ryan, Yadu,
Pro.
Cameron,
Pro.
Drew Lou,
Pro.
Stanley,
Pro.
Samira, pro. Charmaine, from Zola, Sophie, pro. Ryan Lord. That's not. This motion passes 24 pro, 0 no, and 1 abstention.
Yay.
Do we have any other topics for new business, any documents to be?
Motion to adjourn?
Nah.
Seconds though.
Yeah, there hasn't been a second, and I do
No
want to
second.
I do want. I'm gonna actually say that that's unfortunate, just because we have Shaughnessy who has some updates from before. But if there's nothing else for new business, we could move to a lapse. New business.
Motion.
We're so loud.
Is there a second? All those in favor? Any opposed? Those good titles. You wanna present real quick?
I'm just presenting Assassin's updates. So we had an electric week. Nina had a massive run. She took out Ishika, Pierce, and Sinmi, and Naya also had 3 kills, Kushi, Musab, and Asim. And then Sinmi took out Jocelyn and Emily. So top 3 kill leaders right now are Nina and Naya leading at 3 eliminations, and then Sinmi at 2. And then still standing for this round at least is Nina, Naya, and Maddie. Maddie didn't get any kills though, so we need to step it up a little. But
We'll start a next round, next week, so everyone is alive again, free for all. Yeah, I can let people.
If people join late, can they start with less round, like less lives? I don't think everyone join.
Oh, yeah, we could start off at 2 lives. Yeah, and just for everyone who got eliminated this round, that's one of your 3
So we give this up to,
So,
he's almost done. We get this up for 1 second, please.
but yeah, and if you still want to join, just Slack me. It's a $3 entry, and you can just Venmo me. It's a fun time. Yeah.
Cause she has a question for you.
Oh yeah.
Wait, okay, so I know you said earlier last week that we can use oven mitts or kitchen gloves to like stay safe. Can you like also extend that to like winter gloves as well?
No, because I want to make it more difficult for people. It's also
Okay.
funnier. Like I feel like people wouldn't want to have oven mitts on like around campus, so that's like a part of the incentive, you know.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Yes.
Will we in the future list of how we have a target? Or we just?
Yeah, so I'm thinking that maybe we do like 1 more week free for all or another like week free for all, and then we move into targets. As more people get eliminated like out of the game, probably. Yeah.
So we do a committee, like the committee, I think that.
A committee?
Committee versus committee.
Oh, that's.
Maybe we could, yeah. Wait, Loki, yeah. I'll consider. I can see how we can like make that work. Yeah.
Okay, quick clarification, kitchen gloves, are they like the rubber ones?
Yeah.
You washed, or like, what's the,
I was thinking like oven mitts.
okay, so they're just all oven mitts.
Yeah, like oven mitts. I feel like because you could buy those like at Acme or something. So yeah. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you.
Second.
All those elected members in favor? Any opposed? Meeting is now.
I'm so sorry.
I'm
so
gonna
sorry
pull
for
the
being-
feedback form QR code.
I'm sorry I jumped the gun with adjourning.